One morning, with just a week left of summer vacation, I made plans to meet up with my longtime friend Kenai. We were getting ready to have lunch around noon. Suddenly, I spotted our mutual friend Fuko across the street, waving at us. Excited to see him after a long time, I shouted, "Fuko! Long time no see. How about joining us for lunch with Dad?" I started to cross the road towards him. However, Kenai swiftly grabbed my shoulder, urgently saying, "Wait, who is that?" I was puzzled and replied, What are you talking about? Isn't that Fuko?" As I turned around, a car zoomed past me at an alarming speed, startling me. If Kenai hadn't stopped me and held my shoulder, I might have stood in a dangerous spot. The car seemed to appear out of nowhere, and it didn't even honk. I felt a rush of fear, breaking into a cold sweat. Meanwhile, I reflected on Kenai's earlier question about Fuko and realized we didn't actually have a mutual friend named Fuko. Why did I mistake that person for our friend? Looking back across the street, I saw that person still standing there, wearing a strangely expressionless face, staring at us. Unsure of how to react, I noticed Kenai's seriousness. Due to Kenai's family being descendants of individuals with psychic abilities, they often encountered peculiar phenomena. Kenai advised us not to engage and suggested that the person might be some sort of soul reaper, akin to a grim reaper. So, we chose to pretend we didn't see and quietly left the area. The person continued to gaze at us until we were out of sight. Later, Kenai explained that the supposed Fuko could be a supernatural entity, as they frequently dealt with such anomalies. The experience left me feeling scared and made me ponder why I had mistaken that person for our friend. During my first year of high school, I had a brother who was 4 years older than me. In that summer, my brother, who was in his second year of college, and his friends decided to have some fun at the amusement park's swimming pool. There were a total of 8 people, both male and female. It was in the late afternoon when my brother nervously called, saying that something serious had happened, and he would be coming home late. When my brother returned home well past midnight, his face had become visibly worn within that short span of a day. My mother got up from her bed, and we gathered in my brother's room to inquire about what had happened. The situation unfolded as follows. As the swimming pool was about to close, they realized one of their friends was missing when they were preparing to leave. Despite searching for him everywhere, they couldn't find him. Calls to his home confirmed he hadn't returned. Growing increasingly anxious, they sought help from the pool staff and even searched the entire amusement park, including underwater. Unfortunately, their friend remained unfound. My brother and the others then went to the missing friend's house. By 9 p.m., the friend still hadn't returned, prompting them to contact the police. Since there was no trace of him, my brother decided to return home. That's when he shared the incident with us. Upon hearing his account, our mother comforted my brother before returning to her room. However, I sensed something peculiar in my brother's expression. Intrigued, I went to his room and asked him what was really going on. Given that my brother and I shared a kind of supernatural sensitivity, he confessed that it didn't feel like the work of a human and sought my perspective. After a moment of silence, I told him that, considering the eerie details he shared, it might indeed involve forces beyond human comprehension. The next day, my brother called the friend's house early in the morning, only to find out he still hadn't returned. Concerned about supernatural possibilities, my brother decided to inform the friend's parents and urged me to accompany him. So, early in the morning, we visited the friend's house. After sharing the story with the friend's mother, she let out a heartbreaking cry and collapsed to the floor. After a brief pause, she returned with a serious expression, holding a photograph. She suggested that my brother and I take a look. The moment we laid eyes on the photo, an indescribable feeling engulfed us, one that we would never forget. It was a picture taken by a magazine reporter who happened to be covering the amusement park's swimming pool that day. The photo captured the friend in mid-air as he jumped from the diving platform. What made it terrifying was the clear image of a white-haired old woman holding his body from behind. My brother and I, after seeing the photo, were at a loss for words, overwhelmed by a chilling sensation. This incident, shrouded in mystery, happened over a decade ago, and to this day, no one can explain how my brother's friend vanished into thin air. Perhaps he was indeed taken by the mysterious entity captured in that haunting photograph. One day, as I was watching TV, I came across the apartment where my friend used to live in a news report. I attentively followed the coverage and learned that a girl's body had been discovered within the walls of that apartment. This shocking revelation prompted me to quickly call my friend. I informed him about the news, saying that a body was found in the apartment's walls. He responded with genuine surprise, asking if it was true. I inquired if he still lived there, to which he revealed that he had moved out long ago. I further explained that the discovery occurred during renovations by the current residents. My friend expressed fear upon hearing this, and we both agreed on the eerie nature of someone committing a crime and burying the victim within the walls. However, what struck me was his later mention of the unfortunate girl. I hadn't disclosed the gender or age of the deceased, so I wondered how he knew about the girl. Was he aware beforehand, or was there another reason for his knowledge? A chilling feeling crept over me as I pondered the possibility that my friend might be hiding something. Recently, our company has undertaken several major projects that require prompt delivery to clients, making work exceptionally hectic. I've been living in the office due to the tight deadlines, neglecting even basic personal care like taking a proper shower for several days. One early morning, around 5 o'clock, a colleague and I decided to borrow a car and head home. As I was about to leave the office and preparing to pick up the car, my phone rang. It was an unknown number, and to my surprise, it was a call from a good friend from my student days whom I hadn't been in touch with for years. He apologized for calling at such an odd hour but mentioned he had a sudden urge to check on me. I explained that I had been working continuously, pulling all-nighters for days, and was planning to drive home. Concerned about my safety, he advised against driving in such a fatigued state. He suggested taking a short nap before heading back. Despite my attempts to justify the short distance to my home, he insisted on avoiding any rash decisions, especially driving while exhausted. Eventually, I heeded his advice, deciding to return to the office to rest for a while and take the train home later. After hanging up, as I lay on the office sofa, I suddenly remembered something. The friend who called had passed away in a car accident 4 years ago. He had a morning collision with a truck and lost his life instantly. I checked my phone and confirmed the existence of the call from the unknown number. Perhaps, I thought, my friend deliberately called from another world to warn me. If not for his reminder, who knows what could have happened later. In gratitude, I later visited his grave, thanking him for the timely warning that averted potential danger.